So I really like this type of question because it's basically giving you the answers and then it's asking you, where did these answers come from? So let me just show you a quick example. If you have y equals x squared minus 9, that is a parabola that looks like this, and it's crossing the x-axis in two places. You could then set y equal to 0. On the right side, you could factor this as x plus 3 times x minus 3. Then set each factor equal to 0. And then we get the two answers, x equals negative 3 and x equals positive 3. So this would be the negative 3, this would be the positive 3. But then you're basically being asked to work backwards. In other words, if you don't know what the function is, and you don't know all of this part, and you don't know the graph, all you know is what x equals, then work backwards and find out what y equals. So that is our task right now. So we start by saying x equals 2, x equals 7i. So when you have a complex number like 7i as one of the roots, then that means that its conjugate, which would be negative 7i, is also going to be a root. If you didn't know that, then you could also look at it as, well, an I comes from the square root of negative 1. So that means that for this one, somebody must have taken the square root in order to get an I. And if I'm supposed to do the opposite of what they did, then square both sides. So then square both sides. And if you use this style, you don't have to use the conjugate. So then for this one, when you square both sides, this is going to be x squared. When you square a 7, that's 49. And when you square I, that's a negative 1. And I'll just put the negative in front. And then just to keep them level, x equals 2 is the other one. Then the step before that must have been that x minus 2 equals 0. And for the one on the right, add 49 to both sides. So x squared plus 49 equals 0. And then somebody must have had, right before that step, they must have had x minus 2 gets multiplied with x squared plus 49. And they had that equal to 0. And then we just need to multiply this out. So if you distribute the x first, we're going to have x cubed. And then we're going to have plus 49x. And now distribute the negative 2. So we'll have negative 2x squared minus 49 times 2 is 98. And then that is the function. So I'm even going to go fancier and put f of x equals. I'm also going to put them in order. X cubed goes first, and then negative 2x squared, then the 49x, and minus the 98. And the last thing I asked for was describe the end behavior. Well, that's controlled by the most powerful term, the x cubed. And in general, x cubed goes like this. So this end is going to positive infinity, and this end is going to negative infinity. So the right side, and the way to say that is, as x goes to the right side, positive infinity, then the function is going to positive infinity. So I just described this part. And then for this part, that's the left side. So as, that's not a very good S, as x goes to the left, or in other words, goes to negative infinity, then the function is going down to negative infinity. So there's me describing the end behavior, and there is the function.